Hey, everybody, I am live. Welcome to our Success Mastermind for Thursday, the 18th of August, 2022. John Lavenia here with you, and I am excited. Today is a big day, actually, here in our household and in our business. And if you haven't heard, we are doing a special event tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. That is just 6 hours from now, where we're going to be showing you, if you're interested in such things, how to get tremendous opt-ins to your lists, as well as how to automate many aspects of your digital or online business, even offline businesses. We got people in a bunch of different industries using the technology that we've been developing, and we're really excited to show it for the first time publicly. If you want a link on that, I can go ahead and put one here in the chat. I'll put that here as well. There you go. Here you go. All right. So go ahead and register for that. That is going to be live at 6 p.m. Eastern U.S. time with myself and Shannon. And so we're going to be showing you how you can leverage various aspects of your business. So anyway, good times. In fact, that's what I want to talk with you about today, just in a general sense, is high leverage activities. Good to see you, Lynn, Catherine. Good to see everyone tuning in on YouTube as well. But high leverage activities. So let me start by saying this. I have, through most of my life, I have had expedience as one of the main motivators. Here's what I mean by that. So let's say you grew up like I did in a condition of deficit or lack, limitation, too much month at the end of the money, that sort of a scenario, right? Which is most people. Right. And that's not, I'm not like a rare case or anything. Even here in the land of opportunity, right, which is what the United States is or was known as, land of the free, home of the brave, but the land of opportunity nonetheless, where people come from all over to experience opportunity, equal opportunity. They can come and they can make something of themselves. Now, lately, that's been twisted up and gnarled up with, socialistic kind of concepts where it's supposed to be like equity of outcome or something. No, that never works, by the way. But equality of opportunity. Oh, absolutely. Right. So the land of opportunity. So you can make something of yourself here. And I've seen many people do that. I even wrote about this in Integrity is Everything, where you've got people, let's say, loafing, taking for granted things like, personal liberty and free enterprise and opportunity. but after all, it's not so bad. I'm just going to work my job. And yeah, it's tight at the end of the month and blah, 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 blah. Right. So that's the story that most people have allowed themselves to buy into. And then here comes somebody from, India or, South America or something where, they've done whatever they had to do to, enter a more free enterprise condition here in the land of opportunity. And I don't mean to say, it's only the United States. Sure, there's plenty of free enterprise throughout the world where it's not been overregulated, like it has been recently here. But the idea that we don't take it for granted, that we, carp diem, right, seize the carp and all that, and we go after it is something that I've witnessed from people who obviously didn't take it for granted because it was an effort just for them to be able to have the opportunity. So that's an indicator right there. All right. So keeping that in mind, that we could have the mindset of, charging forward, not taking for granted opportunities that we have, and making something of ourselves. Okay, so with that as sort of the baseline, now let's look at the two different kinds of efforts we could make. If we're going to do something, well, there's two categories of effort that we could put in. The first category is what I was alluding to before, which is expedience, quick gratification. Okay, expedient meaning, get it done quickly, right? And this is something where imagine, if you would, here's a rodent, like a rat or something, and here's some cheese or garbage or whatever they like to eat. Okay, so they go and they find the item, they consume the item, and then that's it for, I guess, for that day, right? But then tomorrow they're hungry, they go and they find another item, they consume that item, right? So that's expedient, right? That's instant gratification, and it's habitual. And so my entrance into opportunity and looking to be, do, and have more in my life was that sort of an approach, right? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that which is gratifying to me in the short term and be a productive member of society and all that, but not have leverage. Now, in Robert Kiyosaki's books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Cash Flow Quadrant, he talked about the four quadrants, right? So quadrant one would be the E quadrant for employee, right? That would be pretty, I guess I could say expedient, but I could also say predictable in terms of, I do this much work, I get this much money, and there's no lag time on that. I get paid every week or whatever the story is. But there's no leverage in that, right? You are the leverage. You're the leverage for the company, the corporation, the boss, whoever, right? So the second quadrant is S for self-employed, which is, we could say, a step up in terms of at least, earning potential. You could earn more money. You could earn less. I mean, you get to be more causative, right? You get to have more control in that situation. But still, there's little to no leverage in that. Let's say you're a solopreneur, or you're the guy running the corner, auto repair shop or something. And so in that way, you do the work, you get paid. It's still, A to B sort of, expedient, or a more instant kind of a gratification. But you don't show up to fix cars that day. Well, no money. That was the world I ended up in too, by the way. I mean, my first, profession was, I got into the trades. I was a mechanic and automotive and diesel diagnostician, and I could make my 40 grand a year, and it was rather predictable. Machines break predictably. Okay. So people have to repair them. There's actually a bit of a resurgence in that, at least here in Florida, where I am. I know Governor Ron DeSantis was talking about, hey, we want to bring in more diesel mechanics and this and that. We're getting the ports, if they can't get the ships through California, we got lots of water here in Arizona, in Florida, right? We got Jacksonville, we got Tampa, we got Miami. Bring your ships, right? We'll get the job done. So we need mechanics to work on the trains, the boats, the trucks, the whatever, right? So there is a bit of a celebration of, the tradesmen, because again, it is a step up from, I guess, what we could see in other parts of the land of opportunity, which is just entitlement, living on the dole, as it's called, right? In other countries, right? Welfare is what it's called here. Public assistance, right? Government handouts and whatever. Huge step up, huge. Okay, so be productive, right? The fourth or the third quadrant that Kiyosaki talked about was B for business owner or bigger business owner. So certainly a self-employed person is a business owner, technically, okay, but the bigger business owner is the one who is now experiencing leverage. So they are not the mechanic. They may have their name on the shingle outside, but here is their staff. And they run the phones, right, to take the appointments, and they turn the wrench to fix the cars, right? And that is scalable to whatever extent, it is, right? So there's such a thing as skyscrapers, right? And there's lots of people that work in those kind of things. Actually, these days, that's another trend. A lot of people aren't going back to the skyscrapers. My wife just rented a workspace. We got a beautiful home office for her here. But if one's good, two's better, right? So we found this property downtown, beautiful, and they rent. Here's your office space. They got different size spaces at different rates per month, and here's the conference room which you can reserve, and here's the relaxation pod, and here's the kitchen area where they have coffee on tap and kombucha. Believe it or not, they got kombucha on tap, all included. Anybody know what kombucha is? It's like this, I think, nasty fermented mushroom juice. Like my wife loves it. Okay. So, so go drink your kombucha and right. So how much office space do you need? Do you need the freaking skyscraper? Do you need 3 floors of the? So a lot of people are saying, no, we're working on Zoom. If I need somewhere where I need to go film, I can go rent that space and do it for like $300 a month. And, save a ton of money if you're self-motivated. Okay. So this is, as we were talking about before, right? Not taking opportunity for granted. If we're self-motivated, we're going to find ways to prod ourselves and get more done in less time, which is one of the first things I had to learn how to do when I was looking to go up that hierarchy into higher levels of production and income, of course. So leverage is something that is enjoyed for the first time, by the person who enters that third quadrant, the business or bigger business owner, right? Where they're not all things to all people, nor are they answering to a boss. Their boss is the customer base, right? That's the real boss. But they are able to typically, and here's the metrics for it, they're typically able to, if they're going to sustain business, they're able to pay people about 10% of what it's worth to the company, to the organization. Now, again, with the socialistic mind, they think, oh, that's unfair. Well, hold on a second. There's all these other expenses, not to mention, the real estate and everything else, operations and accounting, right? Which may not bring in money. It might not be on your revenue line, but it is on the stat sheet of, things that have to be paid for. So with the short-sightedness of the low leverage personality or the employee mindset, they may see, well, this repair job cost $100. I got paid 10. Okay, that sounds about right. Here's all the other stuff you didn't pay for. Here's all the advertising you didn't pay for. Here's all the risk you didn't take, right? Because the corporation also loses money. That was a loser over there, right? And that's part of having more of a high leverage mindset, is knowing that, if we're doing bigger volume, if we're serving more people, there's going to be winners and losers. And part of what we do here is we minimize the losers and maximize the winners, right? And then expand and, create more jobs, bring in more people, and serve a bigger audience. The fourth quadrant, of course, is pretty far afield of the other 3, and that is the I quadrant for investor. So here is the person who is not showing up at all, doesn't know anything about operating that business or whatever, but invests in you because you do, right? You're the business owner. Here's some money. I think you're awesome. Please go be awesome and make this money worth more money, because now I just invested in your own competence. You're competent. I don't know, but you competent. Here, have some money. So now we're into capital gains, right? So the first three methods or quadrants were based on earned income, people working. Okay. The final one, the fourth one, is based on money working. We can call that passive or capital gains kind of a scenario. Okay. So here's what I want to offer you today. If, like me, you've habitually found yourself in a state of employee mindset or, self-employed, if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself, and you got to be all things to all people, and everything right now, and I got to go make money right now, and I got to go, accomplish things right now, which is laudable, right? It sounds like good work ethic. Okay. But if that's ad infinitum, if that's the only operating strategy, and there's no leverage put in on that, there's no ways to automate and to create leverage points where, in some cases, you don't have to show up on that post. This could be outsourcing. This could be hiring an employee, contractors. This could be automations, like what we're going to be talking about at 6:00 tonight on our special event, right? Machinery, right? So I mean, think of it like this. So all of us here are engaged in some form of online business or enterprising type of effort. Okay. So none of us are going door to door. I don't think you are, and handing out flyers and running the corner pizza place. Okay. And if that's what you are doing, let's say maybe you're watching this on YouTube or something. Okay, fine. So there's a limit to the reach that you have. But just by virtue of the fact that right now you're experiencing this broadcast, I've got people here from England, Australia, throughout North America, right? The fact that you're experiencing this broadcast is evidence that there's more reach than just the corner pizza shop, right? So this is a leveraged effort. So yes, we're using technology to expand or increase our reach into the marketplace. Well, how else can you use technology to do that? Some of you are selling on Amazon. Okay, well, that's got a lot of reach. And next thing you know, here you are in some corner of the universe, and somebody else on the other side says, oh, I want to buy your stuff, and bam, transaction happened. Now, you couldn't do that. You couldn't hit that target. You couldn't sell that customer if you were bound by geography. So we're experiencing leverage all the time. Now, a lot of times we experience it without knowing it, just by maintaining a consumer mindset. So I show up on the website, e-commerce, Amazon, eBay, whatever. I show up and I look for the product I want and I order it, and it comes from somewhere. From somewhere. Okay. So did I just experience leverage? Oh yeah. I did. I remember when I first started to buy books online. Prior to that, of course, I was, as you could see, buying paper, books and hardcovers and all that, but going to the store and asking, do you have it in stock? After searching up and down the aisles and not finding it, because somebody put the stuff out of order, and it was in the wrong section, and so that, I guess, for nostalgia, that's kind of cool. Some people still do that because they got a little coffee shop in the corner. You can go, read the book in the corner and, pay too much money for coffee. You could do that. But I started like buying books online. All I had to do was go to this Amazon thing and I typed the title and there it is. There it is. I can just click to buy it and they're going to ship it right to me. Mail order, okay, but brought online. Of course, mail orders have been around for a while, but being brought online. So without thinking about it, so here I was working my job or running my self-employed, business, ordering a book, experiencing leverage, and not even being aware of it. I stopped showing up at the local bookstore a little while later, just because of the frustration and the lag time and waiting and what's the ISBN number, and we don't know when that's going to be back in stock. And holy shit, man, I just want to buy the book. Granted, I don't show up looking for whatever the hottest New York Times bestseller is. I could give a shit. Okay, but I'm looking for that book by that author that was written 100 years ago. Can you help me? No, at least not within the next 30 days. All right, so that is one experience of leverage as a customer. And what do people want? Here's where I want to bring this together for you. When you think about how can you do more high leverage activities, what you want to think about is think ahead a little bit, okay? And you want to think about how will this serve more people in less time with less effort? So high leverage for me means high leverage for my intended customers, right? How can I serve more people in less time with less effort? Because we're talking still about earned income, right? This isn't a capital gains event here. This is you running a business. So the correlation between income and an effort would be how much service did that effort provide? If we could serve more people in less time, even with less effort, okay, or a leveraged effort, more production without so much labor, right? That's cool. I like that. Well, then we're going to be the beneficiary of increased income, because this is all based on the law of exchange, right? Why did Amazon dominate? Why did I don't know what Barnes and Noble's doing right now, but assuming they're still in business, why does Amazon crush their stats like to smithereens? Because of what they brought to market. Deliver more service, or in this case products, in less time with less effort on the part of the customer, and right, so they get to make a lot of money. So that's what you got to think about. You got to think about how can you create that scenario. Here's the downside to this, is that while you're creating these scenarios, while you're setting up machinery or hiring people or whatever you do, right, to serve more people in less time with hopefully less effort, at least on your part, right, you're not doing the expedient thing. You're not grabbing cheese. And this is the balance that I've had to have my attention on, because now I'm in my 50s, and sure, I can go. I just the other day I had somebody offer me a sales gig. John, we got this hot product. Holy crap, we need to get you in the seat and you could close this. Man, you're like the best closer ever. Yay. Okay, great. To what end? Go be a hired gun? I'm good at it, but to what end? I'm gonna be friggin' 80 years old taking on sales gigs. So, and it's a paradigm shift, right? I'm telling you right now, coming from where I came from, right? It's a mental and emotional and physiological shift to not just grab cheese because it's expedient. But if nothing changes, nothing changes, right? So part of thinking ahead as to how can I serve more customers in less time with less effort, right, is also thinking about what is this effort, this business, this opportunity, what is it going to do for me in the long run? Not just in the short run. What is it going to do for me in the long run? So what's it going to do for the customer? Yes, primary consideration. What's it going to do for me? Also a primary consideration. So there has to be that balance there. Again, this is exchange, right? This is the balancing of outflow and inflow. And I believe it was Warren Buffett who said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you're going to work till the day you die. Now, I think about, and I just had this conversation recently. I think, did we talk about this yesterday with Glenn? Yes, we did. But let me remind you. So we talked a bit about passive income and capital gains and all that. And since I've got Kiyosaki on the mind, I had mentioned that that the idea that he put forward was that you earn income not to just buy stuff. Okay, I mean, pay for your cost of living and whatever, and keep that as conservative as you can, but then buy assets with that money. So I earned income. I bought assets with that income. Those assets appreciate or create cash flow, let's say a rental property or something. And now that is capital gains, right? That's money coming in, that's passive income. And the more assets I buy, I can get to a point where I no longer need to earn money to live and survive and pay my bills. That's paid for by the assets. So now when we do that, we've truly escaped, the rat race, right? So there's work to be done, and it's our pleasure to do it, but not because we need to pay our bills. We're no longer working for money. Money's working for us. Totally, reversed relationship there, where instead of money being the master and you being the servant, money is the servant and you're the master, and it must do your bidding. And it does. It's a nice position to be in. Again, this does not invalidate work. The last thing I would ever do is invalidate work. Work your ass off, but to what end? And if it's only low leverage activities, well, you'll work till the day you die. So these are things to consider, right? I think all of us, well, none of us are getting younger, right? I need to cut and color my hair. It's time. Look at that. Look at that. It's time. I know a guitarist who dyes his hair. He's in his 50s as well. But he doesn't dye this once. He leaves this one piece gray, and it's like he's got long hair. So this one gray thing is flying around all over the place. Kind of cool. That's Alex Skolnick from the band Testament, by the way, if you want to look it up. But high leverage activities. We can also quantify this. Let me end by saying this, and then I'll take any commentary. So if you are scheduling your time, you could schedule low leverage. Go make the sale, go do the thing, what's going to pay you now, right? And that could even be a job, right? If that's what's necessary to keep the lights on. And then high leverage activities. And lots of people do this, right? And so for these 2 hours in the evening or first thing in the morning or whenever, it's your schedule, right? But this blocked off time is now high leverage action, which is delayed gratification. I don't make money from that right now, but I'm building my empire. This also applies, in case it's not obvious, this also applies not only to just building a business that will give you a leveraged income, but it also applies to building yourself. We do a book study group every Monday night. It doesn't make me money to do that. Okay, so it's not expedient. Is it a high leverage action? Oh, hell yeah. Because not only does that build myself up, and I need all kinds of reinforcement. So read, all right, that's cool. But then also anybody who participates, you're also getting that same data, right? So that's good. We're building this, this what would be the best word? An edifice, or a big, powerful, able being, really a powerful being. Because it's the being that has to go ahead and do the thing and then gets the result. That's be, do, and have, right? So is that a high leverage action? Studying your personal development material, reading books on sales and philosophy and everything. Yeah, it's freaking huge. Does it pay you right now? No. Well, in some cases, right? I mean, the emotional pay, right? Let's say you have some great cognition. It's like, holy crap, look at that. I should have read that 10 years ago. Okay, well, you read it now, so that's good, and you had something released for you. It's like, now I finally understand it. Man, that's cathartic. That's friggin' awesome. So that's instant gratification. That's cool. And if we experience that throughout the journey, right? So while we're doing a high leverage action, we're also experiencing little gratifications along the way. There's got to be that too, right? You can't go 100 years without finding cheese. I mean, that's, that sucks too. So we're talking about finding the balance here. Finding the balance, deliberately putting high leverage actions into your repertoire. So you're not just, barking up 15 different trees until you can't bark anymore. Does that make sense? I hope so. Lynn, Edward, and Catherine, who are here with us live, and those of you on the YouTube, well, you guys can't. Well, you can put something in the chat if you'd like, but Lynn, Edward, or Catherine, if you want to say something about this, feel free. Are you getting leverage? Are you creating leverage? Do you know what leverage is? Do we need to get a dictionary? Hi, Lynn, you've got the floor.
Thank you. I used to one of the academics I used to work with was his thing, and he would just make sure that a conference, he'd write a paper, and it got a conference paper, and it got published, and it got a book chapter, and it blah 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 blah, all of which counted for the end of the year kind of stuff. But sorry, dog just sat on the radiator.
Oh.
Yeah, smell of burning fur, not very nice.
Oh.
As I was saying, yeah, I mean, for me, it's kind of, my business is, it's not anything like what you're doing, but it was just, I've been thinking I need to do like more than just the one product. I want to do several. So that's kind of part of the story. And also I need to be in more than just one place. I think I need to be in a couple of different sales areas at the moment. So I'm kind of, that reinforced what I've been thinking, I guess.
Okay. Well, nice. I'm excited to see what you create. And I can tell you, Lynn, that we've got things that, I mentioned to you a couple of weeks ago, something we could do to start creating some leverage for you with no investment risk, whatever, right? So if you want to revisit that, we can do that too. So All right. Thank you, Lynn. Catherine's here. She knows a little bit about leverage. Edward, any other thoughts before we get on with our days here, or Lynn gets to sleep because it's midnight? Okay, very good. Again, there's a link in the chat if you want to tune in to this first ever public release of what Shannon and I have been working on for some months now behind the scenes. So it's going to be tasty. I'll hopefully see you guys there. In the meantime, make it a great day. Okay. Love you guys.